What do our guardian angels do when we sin?
It's a good question. We find the answer to this in the writings that are endorsed or approved by the Church with its official seals of approval, namely the Imprimatur and the Nihil Obstat, from the saints, the writings of the saints that are approved by the Church. And we find that the angels weep when we do something sinful. We're all given a guardian angel. And this is a teaching of several saints, Saint Alphonse de Liguori and others, at conception. Now, some people may be given more. Padre Pio addresses this as well, depending upon their mission, their universal mission and vocation in the Church. So naturally, the Blessed Virgin Mary had many angels accompanying everything she thought, said, and did, and bringing these divine acts that she performed that were sinless, that participated in God's one eternal act to the throne of God to increase the accidental glory of not only themselves, but the saints in heaven and alleviate the souls in purgatorious sufferings. Now, our guardian angels, we all have one guardian angel. And when we do something sinful, it causes them to weep. Why? Because they are pure spirits. They have no stain, no imperfection in them. They are pure emanations of God's love. And when they see sin, or they experience it, and they have to because they're always by our side 24/7, even when we sleep, they lose, in a way, some of that accidental glory that they would have otherwise received had we done something good. So we affect them as well, not just God. So they weep not only for God's sufferings on account of sin, but because of their own opportunities lost to grow in the glory of God through our good acts on earth, which are replaced by sinful acts. And you mentioned something about Satanists whenever they do rituals or something like that. What do their guardian angels do? Yeah, this is really a travesty because some of these souls may be lost for all eternity, and their guardian angels will carry that with them for all eternity. That is the loss of the soul to whom they were entrusted. But the guardian angels are not blamed by God if a soul should not follow the will of God or lose its own immortal soul to Satan, because they are commissioned to do exactly what God asks of them, and that is to light, to govern, to guide, to protect. And the letter to the Hebrews speaks of the angels and says that we don't serve them, they serve us. Now, why is that? It's because, and this has to do with why Lucifer rebelled against God in heaven, because Jesus, according to the teachings of Saint Polycarp, who was a disciple of Saint John the Evangelist, and the disciple of Polycarp was Saint Irenaeus, according to Polycarp, Saint John the Evangelist taught that God revealed to Lucifer before he became evil or rebelled against God, that the second person of the Trinity would assume a human and not an angelic nature. And Satan did not want to serve a rational being that was inferior to him intellectually, which we are. So he said, I will not serve this plan. And Lucifer did not enjoy the beatific vision. Had he passed that test and accepted God's plan, he would have been admitted to the beatific vision, because once you enjoy the beatific vision, you cannot sin. So you see, Lucifer still could have sinned, meaning he was not yet admitted to that beatific vision. And therefore, the letter to the Hebrews, when he states that we serve, I'm paraphrasing, we serve God and the angels serve us, it's because, in part, of what St. Paul says, that in the end we will judge angels. So even though the angels surpass us intellectually, rationally, because of the incarnation of Christ into human nature, we surpass them in nobility. And therefore our guardian angels will always carry that loss of a soul if it goes to hell through unrepentant satanic rituals. And but remember, even though it carries that loss, there's a certain joy in the fact that God's justice is impeccable. So if a soul is lost, it's not the fault of the angel, it's not the fault of God, it's the fault of that soul. And God's justice is glorified in heaven as much as his mercy. So they don't, let's say, they don't live in a state of sorrow in heaven, the guardian angels. They rejoice in the justice of God as well.